Delhi, you're watching Didi India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, India's President Draupadi Murmu embarks on a state visit to Mauritius, will attend Mauritius National Day celebrations as the chief guest on Tuesday. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to inaugurate and initiate 112 national highway projects in Haryana, also witnesses Namo Drone Didi in action in Delhi. Efforts to secure Gaza ceasefire continue as the holy month of Ramadan begins. Biden says US will work towards 6-week truce as part of the release of Israeli hostages, stresses on support for a two-state solution. Oppenheimer dominates Oscars, bags Oscars in the Best Film, Best Actor, Director and Supporting Actor categories. Emma Stone prevents a sweep, wins Best Actress Award for Poor Things. To further boost the bilateral ties with Mauritius, India's President Draupadi Murmu embarked on a 3-day state visit to Mauritius. During her visit, the President will be the chief guest at the National Day celebrations of Mauritius on 12th of March. She will also hold talks with top leadership of the country. President Murmu and Mauritius Prime Minister Jagannath will jointly inaugurate 14 India-assisted projects. President Murmu will also witness exchange of important bilateral agreements that seek to further strengthen the robust bilateral institution collaboration and capacity building cooperation between the two countries. A program marking significant boost to women empowerment. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the Sashakt Nari Viksit Bharat program at Indian Agricultural Research Institute, Delhi. Among the highlights of the program was the witnessing of demonstration of agriculture drones across India by Namo Drone Didis. Financial support worth 10,000 crore rupees was also given to self-help groups either as bank loans or through capitalization support fund. Prime Minister Modi also presented certificates of appreciation to Lakhpati Didis during the program. Addressing the program, Prime Minister said that any society can move forward only by creating new opportunities for women empowerment.
वो नारी शक्ति की गरिमा बढ़ाते हुए उनके लिए नए अवसर बनाते हुए ही आगे बढ़ सकता है। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से देश में पहले जो सरकारें रही उनके लिए आप सभी महिलाओं का जीवन, आपकी मुश्किलें कभी प्राथमिकताएं नहीं रही और आपको आपके नसीब पर छोड़ दिया। मेरा अनुभव यह है कि अगर हमारी माताओं बहनों को थोड़ा अगर अवसर मिल जाए, थोड़ा उनको सहारा मिल जाए, तो फिर उनको सहारे की जरूरत नहीं होती है, वे खुद लोगों का सहारा बन जाती है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting the North Indian state of Haryana today. In a social media post, the Prime Minister said, and I quote him, "Today is an important day for connectivity across India. 112 national highways spread across different states will be dedicated to the nation or their foundation stones would be laid. The Haryana section of Dwarka Expressway will be inaugurated. These projects will boost economic growth and are also in line with our efforts to build next generation infrastructure." With an aim to boost socio-economic growth, enhance job opportunities and promote trade and commerce, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of 112 national highway projects spread across the country worth about 1 lakh crore rupees in Haryana. Prime Minister will also inaugurate the Haryana section of the landmark Dwarka Expressway. 39 other projects worth 32,700 crore rupees in different states across the country will also be inaugurated. These projects will significantly contribute towards growth of the national highway network. All right, Dibendu Mondal is joining us to get us more. Dibendu, in a short while from now, we will see the Prime Minister inaugurate a number of highway projects, more than 100 of them in Haryana. Let us understand more from you the significance of this program and also how far will it give a thrust to infrastructure in the region.
Preeti, this is a long due project that is to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister from a short while now. We are being told that the Prime Minister has already reached here, because of which we'll have to move away from here. So, of course, just quickly, I'll tell you what this project is about. This is, a connectivity project that will connect Delhi to different parts of the country, including the Jaipur as well as Mumbai Expressway. This Dwarka Expressway is a 19-kilometer long, which begins at the Dholakua point in New Delhi, and which will connect Gurgaon at the Manesar Khidki Daula toll, after which it will connect to the Jaipur as well as Mumbai Expressway. So this project, has been meticulously done by the National Highway Authorities of India under the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. This perhaps will give boost to connectivity, not just to Delhi and Haryana, but also to Punjab, because this highway also connects the eastern and western peripheral expressway, which will lead to less volume of traffic in Delhi for outbound vehicles that are coming from Punjab or Haryana that has to either otherwise cross from Delhi. They can directly take this highway and move to the Mumbai Expressway. Apart from this, the Prime Minister is also inaugurating and laying foundation stone of 112 other highway projects across the country with a cost of about 1 lakh crores. So this inauguration today is significant because this will give an infrastructure, massive infrastructure boost to the highway connectivity network across the country. Back to you, Preeti.
Yes, indeed, this will give a boost to infrastructure in the region. But then, Dibendu, also let us get more from you as to how far will it make life easier for the people in the region? And added to that, any infrastructure project once launched will bring in more employment opportunities and will also usher in prosperity for the region. Spell out more on these two factors as well.
Yes, quickly, Preeti, because we are being continuously told by the SPG to move out from here. But I'll quickly answer that question. Is that of course this will definitely boost employment opportunities and generate more jobs. It will boost industrial connectivity because these are 8-lane highways which will lead to faster movement. Delhi to Bombay could be done in just 11 to 12 hours now, which would have otherwise taken about 24 hours. So it will be reducing the travel time by 12 hours. For vehicular movement that is moving from Delhi to Mumbai, or for that matter to Chennai. So this project is of course going to create more opportunities for the transport sector. It will generate more employment. There could of course be several developments along the highways, and as and when a highway is developed, there are alongside multiple developments that take place here along the highways. Back to you, Preeti. I'm so sorry, I have to stop it here.
Yes, Dibendu, we'll end it here. Thank you for joining in with those details. So that was our correspondent Dibendu Mondal spelling out more details on the 112 highway projects that will be launched by the Prime Minister today in a short while from now in Haryana. We'll keep you posted. Meanwhile, let's turn focus to other updates. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister of New Zealand, Winston Peters, is on an official 4-day visit to India. This is at the invitation of External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. External Affairs Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Peters are scheduled to hold a bilateral meeting on 12th of March, during which the entire gamut of the bilateral relationship between India and New Zealand will be expected to be discussed. He will also meet other dignitaries during the visit. A quick look at other stories making it to the headlines from across India now. Chief Minister of India's northeastern state of Manipur launched helicopter service for Ukhrul-Imphal route. The air route connectivity between Imphal and Ukhrul will serve as a convenient means of travel and transportation while boosting commercial activities between the two districts. Humanity Social Foundation organized a rally in which women bullet riders took part dressed in traditional Maharashtrian attire and showcased stunts in India's Nagpur. The event showcased women's skills and cultural heritage through bullet riding and traditional attire, promoting gender equality. Arogya doctors on wheels bring medical care to doorsteps in the remote Udhampur village of India's Jammu and Kashmir. The approach helps address the healthcare needs of communities that may otherwise have limited access to medical services. Turning focus to Israel-Hamas conflict now, the latest round of Gaza ceasefire negotiations stalled last week in Egypt's Cairo, where leaving Israel, the Hamas and the mediators were present. Talks reached a deadlock as Hamas did not accept a 6-week ceasefire agreement proposed by the mediators. Egypt, as a mediator, however, contacted with senior Hamas and Israeli figures on Sunday to continue promoting ceasefire negotiations. However, both remain far apart on key issues such as the definition and duration of a ceasefire, as well as how to release detainees. Meanwhile, U.S. President in a press statement for Ramadan said the U.S. will continue working towards a 6-week ceasefire between Hamas and Israel as part of the release of Israeli hostages, stressing the need for a two-state solution with equal measures of freedom, dignity, security and prosperity for both the parties. Biden also added that the United States will continue to lead international efforts to get more humanitarian assistance into Gaza by land, air and sea. Noting that U.S. along with international partners has been carrying out aid airdrops, he said that U.S. will continue to work with Israel to expand deliveries to affected areas. Biden's statement comes as a U.S. Army vessel is en route to the coast of Gaza, laden with materials for construction of a temporary pier, according to the U.S. military. Didi India's correspondent Jagruti Dave explains that it is part of the Biden administration's plan to use sea routes to deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza. Let's listen in.
The Biden administration is facing a huge amount of pressure to help facilitate the delivery of aid to Gaza. The United Nations is warning that the people there are facing a famine. And so they've come up with a plan to construct a temporary pier on the coast of Gaza in order to help the transportation of aid to the enclave via sea routes. On Sunday, US Central Command posted a series of pictures of the ship carrying equipment to Gaza. Central Command posted on the social media site X. It said that the ship called the General Frank S. Besson had departed for the Eastern Mediterranean from the US state of Virginia on Saturday. It said that Besson is a logistics support vessel and is carrying the first equipment to establish a temporary pier to deliver vital humanitarian supplies. The Pentagon said 1,000 US personnel would be involved in building the pier, which would take weeks to complete. But aid groups have warned that have criticised this project, warning that the people of Gaza can't wait that long. Jagruti Dave in Washington, reporting for Didi India.
As Ramadan begins in Middle East, Israel said it will allow same number of worshippers into Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque at the start of Ramadan as previous years.
This Ramadan, let the reasonable public prevail. Don't lend a hand to extremists. So today we reiterate that this year and every year, Israel will strongly safeguard the freedom of religion for all faiths at all sites in Israel, especially the Temple Mount and Al-Aqsa. To those that say no worshippers are being allowed access to Al-Aqsa for prayers, they are wrong. The entrance of worshippers to the Temple Mount will be permitted in similar numbers to previous years.
As Haiti is reeling under a state of emergency, the U.S. military said it has carried out an operation in the Caribbean nation to airlift non-essential embassy personnel from the country and added that U.S. forces would bolster embassy security. The operation was the latest sign of Haiti's troubles as gang violence threatens to bring down the government and has led thousands to flee their homes. You're watching DD India Live. We are heading for a short break, but after the break, Portugal's centre-right Democratic Alliance won general election. though it was unclear as to who would govern. Crescent moon signaling the start of Ramadan sighted in Saudi Arabia. Qatar and the UAE also confirmed beginning of the holy month. India's Satvik Sairaj, Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty clinched their second French Open badminton men's doubles title.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on Didi India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching Didi India Live and I'm Preeti. Let's get to more international updates. As US gears up for the presidential election on November 5th, President Joe Biden is accelerating his campaign in full swing. President Biden's re-election campaign raised $10 million in the 24 hours following his State of the Union address, where he accused Donald Trump of threatening democracy and damaging a bill to tackle US immigration woes. The fundraising haul is notable. Biden and allies raised over $42 million in the entire month of January. They also announced $30 million ad blitz targeting key battleground states over the next 6 weeks. Portugal's centre-right Democratic Alliance won Sunday's general election. Its leader, Luis Montenegro, said, though it was unclear if he would govern, without the support from far-right Chega, with whom he again refused to negotiate. Chega's parliamentary representation more than quadrupled to at least 48 lawmakers in the 230-seat legislature, giving the combined right a majority. Residents in Russian-controlled Donetsk People's Republic are taking part in early voting in presidential election. It is for the first time that the separatist territory will be choosing a president of the Russian Federation. With only 4 candidates on the ballot, President Putin is expected to secure another 6-year term. Dasha Chernishova is in Moscow with more.
Early voting in Russia's presidential election is now underway in the Donetsk People's Republic. According to local authorities, it is possible to vote not only in certain areas near the contact line that started on the 25th of February, but also at home, with mobile teams now coming to people's houses to give them a chance to cast a ballot. Starting the 15th of March, the region will open regular polling stations. In the Kherson region, voting is taking place both with mobile teams and at polling stations. In the Zaporizhia region, military personnel vote near the contact line. In the border region of Belgrade, early voting has also begun for security concerns. Elsewhere in Russia, tens of thousands of voters live in hard-to-reach and remote areas. That's why early voting is needed to give election organizers time to reach those remote villages and islands. Russians living outside the country will also have a chance to cast a ballot. Voting was arranged in 51 countries. Pollsters forecast turnout in this year's presidential election to be around 80%. Dasha Chernishova in Moscow, reporting for Didi India.
And in the latest from Russia-Ukraine conflict, Russian forces have claimed advancements on the battlefield, consolidating their positions in various directions. Over the past 24 hours, they've reported improvements in Kupiansk and strategic gains near Donetsk and Avdiivka. Additionally, they have targeted and destroyed several Ukrainian military assets, including UAV control points, fuel and ammunition depots, as well as intercepting 3 HIMARS missiles. However, Ukraine has not remained passive, launching attacks on Russian air defense systems and electronic warfare platforms. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported engaging in 53 combat engagements with Russian forces and striking concentration sites of Russian military personnel and equipment. Pope Francis's call for Ukraine to hold talks with Moscow was received positively by Russia, who said that it was a request to Kyiv's Western allies to abandon their ambition to defeat Russia and to recognize its mistake in Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky swiftly dismissed Pope Francis' call for talks with Russia as virtual mediation from a distance. Zelensky, in his nightly video address, did not refer directly to Pope Francis or his remarks, but said that the Pope's ideas had nothing to do with efforts by religious figures in Ukraine to help the country.
I thank every Ukrainian chaplain who is with the army, in the defense forces, on the front line, defending life and humanity. They support us with prayer, with talk and with deeds. This is what the church with people is, not 2,500 kilometers away, somewhere to mediate virtually between someone who wants to live and someone who wants to destroy you.
The International Atomic Energy Agency chief Rafael Grossi will be visiting the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant during his trip to Japan this week. Grossi is expected to check on the current situation after authorities began releasing treated radioactive water into the ocean in August last year. As China has continuously stepped up its military activities near Taiwan, with almost daily incursions into the island's airspace, Taiwan's top security official said that by conducting frequent patrols near the island, Chinese forces have been trying to normalize the drills near the island.
I think there is a trend of China trying to slowly normalize their various military actions to exert pressure against Taiwan. In particular, the so-called Joint Combat Readiness Patrols. At present, on average, there is one Joint Combat Readiness Patrol in about 7 to 10 days. There are normally about 10 Chinese military aircraft, fighter jets, or special mission aircraft that operate in the airspace around the Taiwan Strait, and 3 or 4 Chinese warships to accompany the operations in the vicinity. It's a trend towards normalization.
South Korea has said that it will start deploying military physicians and doctors from public health centers to strike-hit hospital. Nearly 12,000 trainee doctors from 100 hospitals staged a walkout over government plans to increase seats in medical colleges, which caused disruption in the country's medical services. 20 military surgeons along with 138 public health doctors will be assigned to 20 hospitals for 4 weeks, with total number amounting to roughly 2,400 medical doctors. In Pakistan, hundreds of protesters took to the streets on Sunday, alleging rigging in the February 8th elections. The protesters, mostly supporting former Prime Minister Imran Khan, said that there are electoral frauds leading to unfair results. Voting day in Pakistan was marred by a mobile internet shutdown, arrests and violence in its build-up, along with an unusually delayed result. Imran Khan-backed candidates won 93 seats but did not have the numbers to form the government. He and his party rejected the results of the elections, alleging rigging. The crescent moon signaling the start of Ramadan was sighted in Saudi Arabia on Sunday, prompting a Monday start to the holy month for much of the Middle East. Qatar and the UAE have also confirmed that they will begin observing Ramadan from March 11th. As one of Islam's holiest months, Ramadan is a time for Muslims to practice fasting, prayer and charity. It is a period of spiritual reflection and self-discipline. A quick look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world now. A twin-engine plane crashed near Hot Springs in the U.S. state of Virginia on Sunday. 5 people were killed in the crash. The National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Aviation Administration are investigating the incident to determine the flight path and identity of the victims. The 4 members of Elon Musk's SpaceX Crew 7 bid farewell to the International Space Station on Sunday in a change of command ceremony. The crew was on a nearly 6-month mission aboard the orbiting outpost. The SpaceX Dragon spacecraft is scheduled to undock from the space station on Monday. A week-long festival brings together renowned Vietnamese and international music groups and artists. The Vietnam Classical Musical Festival, featuring performances from over 100 artists, began with a live concert by musicians from Hanoi and Da Lat brass communities, which drew a substantial crowd. All right, we'll get to you more.